Okay, streaming is live. I'm gonna move one or two things real quick. Close the door. Turn off my heater in the background so it's a little bit less noisy. And we will go ahead and get this started. So, okay. I'm gonna work on. So, one of the things I'd like to have in the system is a way for me to create some custom built-in campaigns and have those be offered to the users. So, I'm gonna work on that. The idea is I'm probably going to load these similar, but not quite the same, similar to how I do it using the database system. Except I'm just going to make a whole bunch of them. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm going to try to make it so that we can have this built-in campaign data that gets built out. So when you first load the application, it'll check and see how many campaigns you have built, which if you just load the application, there'll be none. And then be like, okay, you don't have any custom campaigns data's loaded in, so I'm going to go ahead and load them in for you. And what I like about this solution is if someone deletes all of their campaigns and they want to have the default campaigns come back, it'll just come back. So we're just going to start building that out. Okay, so we have current level data, which is going to be a text asset. Now, when I load data using this, I do this. An idea. I think I'm going to add to this option to load from text. Public static t load from text. Oh, yeah, I need the T here. Oh, actually, this should stay down here. Load from text. JSON string. There, now I have an option just to load it from text if I need to. Which is exactly what we're gonna do. Use current level data from text, and then we'll save that to a level data. And equal. Boom. Now we have the level data. We have their level. Oh, actually. We were gonna do it like this. And then we'll create level data with current level data. Woo! Got excited there. So we get a new list. Oh, it doesn't know what lists are. Oh, let's ask system.collections.generic. Because we all know that's where lists like to live. Or at least most C# developers do. Boom. Should be only one campaign data. Okay. Up next, we'll need a function. We're just going to call it save. And what save will do will allow us to save all of this campaign data and level data out to the physical files, just like it would happen if a player was to go in and make their own custom campaigns and have it generate those saved out files. Except in this case, we're going to build them out from here when you first start, if there's no campaign data to start out with. Okay, so in order to save them, we first need to actually get the objects. So var level datas equals create all level data, and we also need the campaign data. And what we'll do is go through all of them and level data's edit, and then we'll database.save. Now, in this case, I don't have to actually specify what kind of thing I'm saving out, because it should know from context. Unlike loading, where I have to give it the context. Oh, and that should be done inside. Oh, never mind. And then we'll save out the campaign data object, and boom. Now, when I can make some custom campaigns. Then we can check. And we will do that right here. Okay, so we begin, we load in the settings. We load the application data. We database.load all campaign data. If campaign data dot length equals 0, then we want to probably make a method for this. Campaigns. Use the built-in campaign datas. Oh, by the way, since this is my first time streaming after letting everyone know that I'm streaming on our email list, hi, welcome everyone, and if you have any types of feedback or things you want to see in the app, let me know and we can start working on those. I can even switch mid-task if we need to. I can come back and wrap up what I'm currently working on later. It's not high priority for me to like. Whatever you guys kind of want is probably more higher priority to me than whatever I just happen to be working on. Although I enjoy what I'm working on too. Like, I'm doing some things that I think would be worthwhile to see in the next release, but, you know, maybe you guys want to see something else that's more important. Maybe me working on having some default campaigns that come in isn't as important as, like, having cooler bad guys to fight or something. So, you know, I could shift gears if we need to. Okay, so built-in campaign data. We'll just have it save out. And that should be everything we need to create the default campaigns. And if they're 0, let's create them. Now, all I need to do is actually get some text assets of campaigns I'd actually like to feature and put them in. Now, for now, I could probably just take the ones that I currently have. We need a spot to save this stuff though. Let's give it a home first. Home, home, home. Okay, so we'll create a folder, we're going to call it default campaigns. You know what we should do? Let's do that. I'm gonna kill all of my current adventure data. Or, yeah, we'll just straight up kill it. Why not? So we have the Pyxel database. We're gonna rename it to temp database and kill every single default setting that's ever been built. So it's as if I'm loading a fresh copy of the game. Watch, it crashes on a fresh copy of the game, but it doesn't actually work when you have that. That would be really sad. No, it looks like it's loading fine. Okay, so what we're going to find is there should be no campaigns right now, because even though I just built the feature, we are not ready to test it until we have an actual campaign to test out. And we're going to call this I'm gonna sticky note that. Because I'd really like to be able to put spaces into the names, and I did not, for whatever reason, I did not decide to put a space in. I put all these other characters, but not a space. So Diet Chug Essentials, so I'm going to call this little campaign. I'm going to call the level Basics. Yes, you know, this is like showing off the basics. You create a new room, and in that new room we're going to just going to go over a couple. And then we'll do another new room, and we'll go up a couple. We'll do a new room, we'll go... Let's go backwards one. Do another new room, we'll go up a couple here. Do another room, and go a couple to the right. And then another new room, and we'll go down. Another new room, we'll go right a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so this is showing off the new feature that I'm working on that I haven't released yet, but I'm really excited about bringing it to Pyxel. This is the room editor. It's where you can set up different rooms and then decide how those rooms are going to play out. So you can select one of the rooms and go edit room once you have it built out, and you'll see these new green squares. And the green squares is the actual edit area now. So before, when you go into the campaign editor, you can edit wherever you want, but now you can only edit inside the green. So inside the green, I can go in and I can just... This is what I was building for the start of the level, right? So you just go build up some walls. Now there's no handling if you fall outside of the bounds of the room as of yet. If you fall out of the bounds of any of the rooms, and there's no room for to transfer you to. I'm eventually going to make it so that if you go outside the bounds of the room, after X amount of time, you just die, or something like that. Haven't completely got that figured out yet, but it will come soon. But for now, if you go out of the bounds, you can just fall into eternity. Forever falling. I should actually note that as something to fix. Oh, actually I have. I've put that down in my notes. Good. Okay. So, one of the things I haven't done yet, which is a big feature that I'd like to do at some point, is set up some default badges. So we got the system now in Pyxel where you can collect these badges, And the badges unlock abilities, and those abilities can be reassigned when you're in your menu to be to different buttons, depending on the abilities. And there's some badges that will increase the usability of a particular skill or ability you've unlocked. Like this one will increase your maximum jump height, where this one allows you to jump in the first place. So you have to have the blue badge. The yellow badge is going to be important if you want to like block off an area until they can jump high enough or something like that. The badges require badge points in order to equip. This is very Paper Mario-esque sort of system that way, except there's no leveling up. That before we talk about this being an RPG, it's not. It's a Metroidvania, more targeted-ish. But I like Paper Mario's badge system, so it's kind of a little blend between the two per se. So, come in here and the first time you build a level, you're going to need a checkpoint. Checkpoint was what allows the game to know where to load, but specifically, you have to tell that checkpoint to be the start of game. So you have to click the inspector, click on the checkpoint, which will bring up the inspector for the checkpoint, and click start game here. And that'll make this checkpoint the game, where the game starts whenever you load up a campaign. Unless you're loading up an adventure that already has touched a different checkpoint later, which changes the save point to be that checkpoint instead. It'll use this one as your starting default checkpoint to start the game at. So, with that said, we can go ahead and put away the inspector, and we'll put some badge points down, so I know we're going to need a couple. And then a badge to unlock jumping, because you can't make it over that until you can jump. And then we'll just make a really simple room from here that requires you to just show that you can use the jumping skill, right? So what we'll do is we'll just make you practice jumping up to the platform. And then, to make sure that they actually do the jumping, we'll put up a big old wall. It seems like an appropriate way to solve the problem. Now, in this room, let's go ahead and put in another one of the badges. So my goal here is to just like build a level that kind of showcases all the badges. So when you need the badge points, I'm just going to put the badge points you need just right before you get to it. Now this one, the badge I'm going to show off next is going to be the wall slide. The wall slide. Oh yeah, this opens up your palette editor, lets you pick which tiles you want to be painting with. Nope, some of these tiles don't work yet. Incomplete. But more of them will come later as I get more stuff put together and working. This just gives you a little bit of like preview of what's to come. So, you go in and then you can do the wall sliding badge. Now, the wall sliding badge should be pretty cool because it allows you to actually climb up the sides of walls, which means after you fall down this big platform, you could get back up. Because it's a little bit of both, right? Wall sliding and wall jumping. Oh, actually, I was going to do that right here. This is going to wrap up everything I wanted to do in this room. So we have one room, and then how the system works is so you don't load the entire level at once. You're setting up these rooms so that it will only load the current room you're in and the next room you're in, so you don't have everything loaded up at once. Now, also, only players that are in a room will... That was it poorly. But basically, when you're in a room, when a player's in a room, that room becomes an active room, which means bad guys and stuff become movable and they can attack and do all that kind of stuff. they're not, but I will preload some of the rooms with bad guys that are in an inactive state. So when you go back, I'll switch back over to the main campaign view. We just designed this little area right here. So if we go into this area, so when you first load up the game, we're gonna start at this checkpoint right here that loads up this entire room. It's also gonna load up this entire room, but this room won't be set as active because it's the room adjacent to the room. Now, in order to make it an adjacent room so it actually will let you load between the rooms, you have to let it know that it's an adjacent room by putting these little markers. And I hadn't added the markers last time, but we got them here now. So now we're going to start editing this little section right here. And this is the room that I want to showcase the wall sliding and jumping, because I think it's a pretty cool feature I've been working on. So we'll edit selected room, and we earned the wall sliding in the previous room, which would be right here. Oh, and that got an error. What's this? I'm not even sure I quite caught when that went down, but it's preventing me from editing this room. Let's figure out what caused that and fix it. Tile map group controller 525. Remove transfer cells. I don't recall trying to remove the transfer cells. Well, let's reload and let's see if we can cause it to happen again. Loading. Please wait. Now this one happens, but I believe this is just an editor error, so I haven't been worrying about that one. It's only been happening in this new version of Unity, since I recently upgraded to the latest. So we go into Campaign Manager, we do Diet Chunk Essentials, and the basics. We're back here, and hey look! We were unable to save the room transfers. Is it because I double-clicked on it? No. Didn't fail on that. Maybe I need to save before I go into edit. Maybe that's the problem. I know clicking back will save it though, so... Okay, I'll have to investigate that further. Back. Go in. We'll select this room, and let's see what happens when we try to edit it again. Maybe it will just throw an error again. Nah, it worked that time. And we see our transfer rooms, which lets us know this is where you're coming in from, or where you're going out of. This is the place where you can enter and exit. And this is the place where you can enter and exit. Nice little reminder so you don't like accidentally build a whole wall right here, blocking people from moving forward. Okay, so let's delete this wall that I built. Obviously, this is just like a kind of a tutorial level of sorts. I want to include it in the game when you start, so that you have something that you can just kind of reference and learn from. Okay, so you should now be able to climb the walls. So, because you get the item in the previous, the badge in the previous room. And then you can come in over here and you should be able to climb this wall. I am going to do it something like that. I'm going to put a wall up here. And then we're gonna have some fun. We'll see if this is even possible, but I'm gonna try to see if they'll be able to just like take advantage of the wall sliding badge to climb up around, come down, jump over. That's probably too far to jump. We might have to land on top and jump over. That probably won't work. And then jump over again, so that they can get over to this wall over here and climb up. And to make sure they have to do it that way, I'm gonna block off right here. Okay. So I think after they get through all that, it'd probably be good to have like a checkpoint of sorts. So I'm just gonna put up, just build like a little spot. It's like a rest spot. And then we'll just lay down a checkpoint here and we'll move forward. Mostly because I want the next room to be the room that they get the sword. So there's like some basic building of this room. This is really just a practice room to use the wall sliding. We go back to the room editor and then we go to edit our blue room. Now this room is going to be where they get the sword. So just lay down some more tile. Make sure they have all the badge points they need. I think they only need like 3, but I'm just throwing a ton down. Now how the system works is if you have enough badge points available and you get a new badge, it'll just automatically equip it for you. That way you don't have to go through the menu every time you want to like equip a new badge that you just got. I'm going to put the sword up here. This is our sword badge, which unlocks the sword ability. I've been working on the sword ability. We'll show it here in a little bit. I think I made some pretty good improvements to it. There we go. We have another room to check out. 1, 2, 3, 4 more rooms to make. Some of these rooms I think I'm just going to quickly throw them together. We're not going to finish this whole thing, because mostly I just need something to test with for the default campaign loader. I'm going to edit this room. And this is as far as we're going to actually showcase things. So I'm just going to put kind of a barrier right here. And then put in a whole bunch of blobs to fight. Final arena. Currently, this campaign editor doesn't have a way to put in an end of level marker, or like a spot where you end the level. So that's a feature that needs to come on down the road. It's not done yet, but it'll come. Now I'm just going to quickly edit the other rooms just because we need something there, right? We'll come back to these more in detail another time. But for now, we're just going to get them all put together. Just putting something in so I actually get valid save data that gets saved out. Now, when I go back, I should be able to see as a campaign when I go to adventure and make a new one. Diatric Essentials should be there. Excellent. Now we go to our database. And you'll see all this stuff. I'm just going to call this the Essentials. put in, actually, to keep these separate. Actually, there's the campaign data and the level data. Oh yeah, there will only be one level data in this case. Although there could be multiple, this one only has one. Okay, so we get into the start of this application. It's going to be application start. We have our built-in campaigns. We're going to create one built-in campaign. It's going to need the one main campaign. And for all its level data, there's only one because we don't have the way to transfer between levels yet anyways, but that will come in the future. And there we go. Now, we go back to the database and wipe it again, even if it's not really wiping it. If it thinks it doesn't exist anymore, then it will make a new one. And it should make a new one with our essentials in it. Should always load up with the essentials campaign, so that there's always one campaign you start with. That said, the system all works with 0 campaigns in case the player deletes the campaign while they're playing the game. They just won't have anything to play, which would be not good. Okay, well, let's give this a spin, see how it goes. Does it, first off, actually build our campaign? No reference, object not set to, oh, that's that editor one, that one's fine. But if we do an adventure, oh, not resume, adventure, a new adventure, we have the essentials. It auto-loaded it in. Fantastic. Now, we don't have any players because they just killed them all. And we unlock the jumping, and we put the jumping to the test. Now we get the wall sliding. And it appears to be working. We can get wall sliding, which means we should be able to climb this wall. Boom, we climb the wall. Can we actually navigate this section though? This is the part that I probably made too hard. Now, I'm going to take a moment just to point out that if we go to our player's position, you will see that, as I said, you're going to load any connected room to the room that you're currently in will be loaded. But as you can see, our blob room never loaded because it won't load until we get to the sword room. And when we get to the sword room, this room will unload, leaving you with just this room, and the blob room at that point. Assuming we can get there, see if it works. Oh my goodness, I don't think I can make that jump. I think I've made this too hard. Also, the game likes to run really slow when you're rendering too much at once. And having both the scene view and the game view up at the same time makes it render even more than it normally does. Plus, we're streaming, and we're running a full engine on top of it. Okay. Well, hey. Pretty cool, though. So we've got the essentials in there for creating a campaign. Well, for us to have default campaigns that come in. And I'm just going to go quickly put this in quick. Well, that's a big feature I've been wanting to do, and just haven't put aside the time to make it happen. So, pretty happy about that. Okay. We're going to have a little more fun with this level editor, though. Now, this upward climb, I want to make it a little more tricky. And maybe a little more possible. Because it certainly wasn't possible before. Okay. We are gonna... We couldn't make this one, which means we wouldn't make this one either, most likely. Well, I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't make it, right? Either way, we're going to go ahead and throw in the spikes. Because I want to showcase what happens when you die. So spikes right now are one-hit kills. If you get hit by a spike, it's over. Now, when I say it's over, the only punishment you get is you get sent back to the last checkpoint you were in. Nothing more than that. Now, because I'm going to start introducing spikes, I'm going to put in a checkpoint down here as well. That way... That way you have this tense section, and then things loosen up a bit. Yeah. Let's give that a spin. Adventure! Now I'll resume with the character we had last time, which means I'll already have the jump and the wall slide, because I collected them in the same adventure. As you can see, I can still wall slide, even though my wall slide's a little wonky and I need to fix it up. That'll come eventually. Now we hit a new checkpoint, which means if we die, we should reload at that checkpoint. Let's find out. I have a bug in my game. It does not send you back to the right checkpoint. Well, that's really punishing. I bet it would. Maybe we'll take a look at that next, for the next little bit, see if we can get that fixed up. Because that used to work. Oh boy, this is going to be intense. Made it. Oh, I died on that spike. Okay, get back over here. Climb back up. So much. No, that didn't work either. Well, I'm pretty good at dying. We'll get up this yet. I still think it's possible. I don't think I made this impossible. Just, there, I got on the top. Perfect. Now if I jump, I'll just slide right down. Perfect. Nailed it. Got the top one again. Ooh. Ooh. That's not... Oh, I died on that part. Okay. Well, as much fun as that's been, let's go back to the database and we'll take this level data and we'll update it. We'll update this level data with the slightly modified one that we just made. Then we're gonna build it out. Now I don't know if things are gonna run smoother if we build it out, but I'm kind of wondering if it will. So we're gonna give it a try. While it builds out, I'm gonna go ahead and commit my work. Ooh. So I'll just know what this button is for. Okay. Got my work saved. Okay, backing at it. We'll resume our adventure from last time. Now, this does seem to be running a little bit faster now. Admittedly, I've still got still have all the applications running in the background. Probably going to affect how well this plays, and I'm streaming in the background, which of course is going to make a little bit of a difference, I imagine. And honestly, my computer's graphics card is a little on the older side, so no, I hit a spike. Well, we'll get back up there. We can do it again. Never give up. Unless you want to try it in build. Which I'm pretty happy about how well stuff seems to be working in build. Oftentimes after you make something in Unity, you go to build it and all of a sudden your build result is nothing like how the gameplay was playing when you were playing it in the editor. Oh, I just got hit by the spike again. Okay. We get up here, we avoid those spikes. We avoid those spikes. Yes, getting on top of that seems to be where it's at. Oh, that's a lot easier. Yeah, without having the laggy frame rate, it's catching my inputs a lot better. Checkpoint, which would feel reassuring if we knew the checkpoints actually worked, which they're currently not. Oh, we finally collect the sword. Boom, boom, boom! Now, I still need to work on Pyxel's animations, like the main character's animations itself, but the actual sword slash I think looks pretty sharp now. I like how it is. And you can do upward attacks, and you can do downward attacks. So that's pretty legit. Beating the bad guys drops more badge points. Ouch. Boom. We did all the things. The only thing we didn't do here was jump for my life. Now, since our levels load a certain way, going into the infinite abyss simply means that the level below me never was loaded. So it's unsurprising that this is not working. But hey, you can exit end your session at any time and come back to the main menu and still be good to go. Okay. Pretty happy about that. I do say so myself. I'm pretty happy about that. But why are the checkpoints not working? Set to have the player's heads. It's considered a prop. My first question is simply this. Is the AAB controller checking for intersections? And if it is, are we actually setting this as the correct checkpoint? Okay, well, let's make a quick change here real fast, because this is the better way to handle this. And then we should probably do database and save the adventure data after we've modified the adventure data. I bet that will help. Tile instance data.GUID.toString. So if it already is the same one, we don't need to save it again. Now this used to handle respawning the players, healing them, and that stuff. I gave this way more responsibility than it should have ever had. But now that it doesn't, we're just going to clear it all up. Boom. We'll come back out here. We're just gonna see if we get those logs. Let's log it. Oh, wow. Why is it always being successful all the time? That's not quite what we want. Oh, you know what? No, it should only fire off if we hit the player layer. Okay, well, back to our checkpoint. We just have to go to the AABB controllers. We just have to go through all the AABB controllers. return true. None of them have it, return false. So we have the intersection data .aabb controllers. If has player set as current checkpoint. Now we should get the log quite a bit until Pyxel jumps off the platform. Oh, and we're at time for tonight. I'm going to call it. Thanks for watching.